Okay, let's just get right into it. Have you ever felt that deep, down in your bones kind of tired? The kind that a whole pot of coffee can't even touch? Yeah, you are definitely not alone. It's a feeling that goes way beyond just being sleepy. So, what is our body actually trying to tell us when we feel like this? We're going to break down the real science of burnout and figure out what's really happening under the hood.
And it all starts with a question, just like this one from a Reddit user. It's so simple, so direct, and almost painfully relatable, right? This feeling of being constantly, unshakably tired is exactly why we need to dig a little deeper.
So, let's tackle the big question head on. When you feel completely and totally drained, what is your body really trying to tell you? Now, if you've ever gone down the rabbit hole of Googling your symptoms, you've almost certainly bumped into this term, adrenal fatigue. The whole idea is that chronic stress basically overworks your adrenal glands until they just give up. And it sounds pretty convincing, right? But let's see what the actual science has to say. Okay, so here's the deal. According to places like Australia's Health Direct, adrenal fatigue isn't a real medical diagnosis. It's just not a thing. Now, the symptoms people describe are very real. That feeling of being wiped out by stress is 100% valid. But the theory gets the cause wrong. It gets mixed up with something called adrenal insufficiency or Addison's disease, which is a very real but also very rare medical condition. So let's set this popular theory aside and focus on what's actually going on.
So, if it's not our adrenals just quitting on us, what is it? Well, it turns out that not all tired is created equal. Science actually breaks it down.
First, let's be clear on what scientists mean when they say fatigue. This isn't just about feeling sleepy or needing a quick nap. It's this deeper state of weariness that kind of builds up over time and just chips away at everything, your energy, your drive, and even your ability to just think straight. And this is where it gets really cool. Scientists can actually measure two different kinds of fatigue. Using sensors, they can literally track physical fatigue in your muscles. And they can see cognitive fatigue or mental fatigue by measuring changes in your brain's electrical activity. So that feeling of being physically exhausted, it's real. And that brain fog where you can't focus, also totally real. They are both measurable things happening in your body. Which brings us to your body's own dashboard warning lights. Think of these symptoms as signals that your physical and mental engines are basically running on empty. So what are these lights you should be looking out for? Well, the biggest, brightest, most obvious sign, and according to Teladoc Health, the one that got us all here, is you just feel tired all the time. This isn't that good, I had a great workout sore. This is a deep, persistent exhaustion that just doesn't go away, no matter how much you sleep. And physically, your body starts waving some serious red flags. Your immune system can take a nosedive, so you start catching every cold that goes around. You might get those nagging body aches and headaches that just won't quit. Even your stomach can get all out of whack. And here's the really cruel irony. You can be completely exhausted, but you can't sleep because all those stress hormones are just messing with your body's natural rhythm. And what about those mental warning lights? WebMD talks about that classic brain fog. You know the feeling where you're struggling to focus or you keep forgetting simple things. Your fuse can get super short too, making you feel irritable or impatient. All of this can make you lose motivation, and because your brain is just fried, you start making little mistakes you normally wouldn't. Your brain is just overloaded. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. Too much work, too much stress. But here's a fascinating twist. This can also happen from too much of a good thing, like exercise. And that brings us to what's called the overtraining paradox. Overtraining is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's when you're pushing your body way past its ability to recover. You think you're pushing for more gains, but you hit a wall. Or you might even start getting weaker. Your body just cannot keep up with the stress you're putting on it if you don't give it time to heal. So how can you tell if you're doing it? Well, the signs are going to look very, very familiar. It's those same warning lights we just talked about. That muscle soreness that never goes away, getting sick all the time, and here's a really key one, an elevated resting heart rate. That's a sign your body's fight or flight response is stuck in the on position. It's a huge clue that your system is chronically stressed out. Okay, let's take a breath. We've laid out the problem, we've looked at the warning signs. Now for the most important part. What in the world do we do about it? How do we get good at the art of true recovery? I absolutely love this quote from the Reddit workout community because it perfectly captures the shift in thinking we need. Rest isn't being lazy. It's not quitting. It's a critical, active part of getting better. Like they said, the growth happens while you're resting. That's when your body and your brain are actually doing the work to rebuild and get stronger. So let's start with that mental fatigue. Here's a real game changer. The secret isn't managing your time better. It's about managing your focus. Our brains just aren't built to go full throttle for 8 hours straight. A fantastic tool for this, which WebMD points out, is the Pomodoro technique. It's so simple. You set a timer for 25 minutes, and for those 25 minutes, you are laser focused on one single task. No distractions. Then, when the timer goes off, you have to take a 5-minute break. Get up, stretch, look out the window, whatever. Then, after about 4 rounds of this, you take a longer 15 to 30-minute break. It works with your brain's natural rhythm instead of fighting against it. Now for physical recovery. Let's completely redefine the rest day. It doesn't have to mean sitting on the couch all day. Think active recovery. We're talking about a casual walk, some gentle yoga, or stretching. The goal is just to get the blood flowing and help your body heal without adding more stress. And the most powerful recovery tool of all? You guessed it, sleep. Getting a solid 8 hours is absolutely non-negotiable. That's when your body does all its most important repairs. It really is the foundation for everything else. So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. In a world that is completely obsessed with being busy, what if true intentional rest, whether it's a 5-minute break or a whole day of active recovery, isn't a sign of weakness, but is actually the single most productive thing you could possibly do?